I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Here.
Trustee Henson?
Present.
Trustee Horn?
Here.
Trustee Rakes?
Present.
Trustee Wilson?
Present.
Trustee Udris?
Present.
Open to the public, agenda items only, please. All right. Consent agenda, may I please have a motion to accept?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes. Thank you. Moving on to the clerk's report.
I just wanted to update everyone on some early voting hours. So for University Park Library, it would be October 21st through the 25th, 10 a.m. to 4:30. October 26th, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. October 28th through October 31st, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. November 1st, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. November 2nd, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Governor State University hours will be October 21st through October 25th, 8:30 to 4:30. October 26th, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. October 27th, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. October 28th through November 1st will be 8:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. November 2nd, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. November 3rd would be 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. For any further information, you can visit the Will County Clerk's website. End of report.
Thank you. Under my report, just a couple short things. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the staff, volunteers, organizations, and vendors who made this year's Fall Fest and Moving Wall experience so successful. A lot of man hours and group effort go into making this a success, so thank you, everybody. And then also, I'm sure as everybody is aware, 23 years ago today, terrorists killed nearly 3,000 people and injured more than 6,000 others in the worst attack against our homeland in our nation's history. So if we can just take a short moment of silence now in remembrance of those that are affected by this tragedy. Thank you. And that is it for me. So moving on to the administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. One item under my report is Public Works new construction. It's a pay request number 4 to PBS. The village has received pay request number 4 from PBS for the Public Works new construction project for pay period ending on August 8th, 2024, in the amount of $389,445.85. All the invoices and supporting documentation for payment have been reviewed and certified by Farnsworth Group and village staff and meet the plans and specifications according to the contract. The Board action request is a motion to approve pay request number 4 to PBS for period ending August 8th, 2024 in the amount of $389,445.85.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Thank you, Board. End of report.
Thank you. Moving on to the officials' reports. Public Works, Trustee Horn.
Thank you, Mayor. What I'd like to show now is what you're getting for that payout we just approved today, because the Public Works facility is, the structural steel is up and it's going along well. And we're going to show you video or pictures of this, Lord willing. Oh, there we go. So here's a one of the angles. There's another one. And the other one. And this is the garage portion of the building. The office portion has not been under construction yet. So we're moving right along with that, so we should have that under roof by the time the snow flies, I'm sure. At least that's the strategy. I do also want to say thanks to our DPW staff over the weekend working many hours, and I did notice that I was up at the park about 9 o'clock on Sunday morning, and I noticed there was a lot of garbage, and as soon as I noticed that, I turned around and DPW was already out cleaning that up. So they were out early, they were out late, so thank you to them, Ed Johnson and his staff. The Main Street Water Project, you saw on Monday morning, Monday and Tuesday, they've been doing asphalt patching, and dirt and seed restoration is following. Actually, some of the dirt and seed was done prior to Fall Fair, and the rest is being done now. Additional patching in failed areas not related to construction will commence in the coming weeks. And regarding that new DPW facility, the bottom are precast concrete sections that are installed. And that's going well. Branch pickup, the next scheduled branch pickup will be Monday, September 16th. Please visit villageofmonee.org for details. And one more thing I do want to mention is, if you have not walk tested it, our new sidewalk running from Village Hall all the way down to Will Center. In fact, when I was walking here today, some guy passed me running the sidewalk, and I saw somebody yesterday running or walking, I guess, the sidewalk. So it's getting a lot of use. I'm just very happy that we have that sidewalk project completed. End of report.
Thank you very much. Moving on to Parks and Recreation, Trustee Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mayor. And I will probably do this as fast as I can, but as you can imagine, after Fall Fest, another successful event. A few thank yous from me to Diana and her entire family, who volunteered from before opening until the bitter end on Sunday evening. Her entire family, and Kevin and Alice and Brenna and Rita as part of Parks and Rec, for the entire Monee Police Department, the Fire Department, EMA, all the volunteers. People don't realize how many volunteers that we need and got over the weekend, for all the bands and the entertainment and everybody who came, including our sponsors from Amazon and Therese Bogues and Republic Services, the Farnsworth Group, Robinson Engineering, Gina's Motorsports, Liquor Depot, Basco, Monee, the funeral home. Oh my gosh, my eyes are so bad. And SMHF and Midwest and RWK, New Life Physical Therapy, Highway Bakery, Frankie's, Brian's, Dunkin' Donuts, Sicilian Joe's, Culver's, Gracie's, Papa Louise, and MAC. So thank you to all of those sponsors and everybody who helped put on the event. And now to Diana's report. The past weekend, continuation of celebrating Monee's 150th, it continued as in historic fashion, full of live music, a parade, a car show, the carnival, fireworks, craft and vendor show with nearly 100 vendors, even inside, free kids activities, the senior beer tent, food trucks, sea lion show, and the moving wall. The weather was amazing for all 3 days, and we can probably all attest that it's been a lot of years since we've had 3 dry days in a row. The guest speakers at the wall were absolutely and incredibly moving and took your hearts away for sure. No matter your age, you will be moved by the sheer sight of the wall and all the names listed of those who lost their lives fighting for us. The fest, although challenging with the surrounding construction project, was accomplished with the entire village staff efforts to close to a year of planning and meetings. Thank you to Big Public Works for all they do physically to get the wall and the Fall Fest together, set up the hard parts and kept everything going clean and the entire week and even when it was over. EMA, Monee Police Department, and Monee Fire District did a fantastic job keeping everyone who worked and attended safe. Thank you to all of our staff and volunteers this weekend who put in many, many hours to make the fest possible once again. Thank you to all our financial sponsors, to Crete Monee School District for the use of the MEC in the parking lot at Monee Elementary. Thank you to St. Boniface and New Hope for the use of their parking lots. And this is from Diana personally. I'd like to thank the Village of Monee Mayor, trustees, all the staff, Monee Fire, volunteers, my whole family who was present all weekend long to help, and especially the Parks and Recreation Department for stepping up to the challenges we face putting this fest together during a large-scale construction project and working harder than ever as a department. Thank you to everyone checking in and making sure that I didn't overdo it. I didn't want to miss a second of these historic events. Love from Diana. End of report.
Thank you very much. Moving on to Finance, Trustee Rakis.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight's report's pretty brief. This will be the final days of the tax rebate, which is the last Friday of this month, September 27th at 4 p.m., I believe. Go online to print out the form or come to the village and ask someone in the office. I'm sure they would be more than happy to assist you. Aside that, I would like to send my thank yous to everyone that was involved from Parks and Rec, Police and Fire, EMA, everyone involved. I would like to thank Diana and that whole group as to how hard they worked on getting the moving wall here. I know Diana had been looking towards that, trying to get it here for quite a few years when I spoke to her. I would also like to send a special thank you to Jim Pace for asking me to be a flag bearer and welcoming the wall of our fallen veterans. Without our veterans, our country may not be where it is today. Also, Alan Lynch in our opening ceremony, as his sacrifice, along with a few in this room, I don't know where we'd be today without these people. I personally want to thank everyone who has served, everyone who works in our community, for everything that they've gone through, and I would like to send a special thank you as well to Chief Wanata. I was overwhelmed by his story after closing ceremony. He stayed with us for quite a few hours. Not only did he give the time he did through several wars and things of that nature, to think of those stories, I could only imagine what he had to go through to be where he's at today. So thank you, everyone that had their hands in this. It was a great weekend, and that is the end of my report.
Thank you. Moving on to Economic Development, Trustee Wilson.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Well, the Village of Monee's report card just came in, and we got an A+. So my hat goes off to everyone who participated in the fest over since last week, Thursday, from the opening ceremony at the wall to the closing ceremony and everything in between. It was a hit. It was particularly, as a veteran, it was particularly emotional to be part of the wall celebration or the remembrance. It was respectful and honorful, and really appreciate the support that the community gave, from volunteers to the bike run procession, people who met the wall on the expressway, escorted it in, put it together, displayed it, guarded it, and it really brought the community together, the fest in general, to see volunteers, civilians, city employees, village employees, department heads, people from other towns come and to chip in and give a hand for a common good was awesome. The camaraderie, the time spent together, the memories, that'll be forever etched in my brain. So this was particularly a memorable experience, and I thank everyone who had a part in it. Whatever part that may be, how big, how small, it's truly a memorable experience. And I truly thank everyone who supported it and made it successful. A special thank you to American Legion Post 1200 and 991 out of Worth. They really stepped their game up. It wasn't easy, and it truly took a village for this to go off successfully. We had some hiccups, but we dealt with it, and we anticipated some things. So good planning from department heads, our village manager, chiefs, with enough foresight to look and look into public safety with EMA and to make sure that everything was successful and nobody was hurt. So special thank you to Diana Kroll for even reaching out to the traveling wall to make it happen, because it goes all over the United States. So all the stars had to line up for this to happen, and it did. And tremendous, my hat goes off to her, and you know she's a trooper because she was there all weekend. She could have bowed out gracefully, and we even asked her to, but she wouldn't miss it for the world. So, but that shows you the dedication that the department heads had here, because they were all here. Daryl was here. I mean, everybody was here. So my hat goes off to you. It was wonderful. I just can't. For someone who always has words, I didn't have words to describe what took place this weekend. So, end of report.
Thank you very much. Building Services, Trustee Henson.
No report this week, but I would like to also comment about Fall Fest, and Diana and her crew knocked it out of the park again. The Monee police and EMA kept us safe and had some hectic times at times, but they took care of it as they always do. The Fall Fest was amazing. Like Heidi said, we got 3 days of dry weather. The wall, I'd like to thank Diana, Jim Pace, and Chief Kerner for getting all that together and everything. It was an honor to escort the wall in with the motorcycle procession, and then I was there each day. I only regret that I didn't get to see it come down and leave. Alan Lynch, Chief Wanata, and others that spoke was amazing and moving. But being there at night and having some of the veterans come in and hearing some of their stories and looking for folks on the wall for them. And then we also have a few people that weren't veterans that were around back then or just maybe a little bit younger, that they come in and they looked at the wall, and it's very somber, it's very sobering, it's very humbling when you think about it. 58,479 names on that wall. And I feel like a better person after learning things of the wall, after sitting and talking with veterans and Vietnam veterans. I think that the wall coming here enriched Monee in a way that maybe everybody doesn't even realize. But I just wanted to thank everybody that made it possible, both for the Fall Fest and for the wall. And let's keep it up.
Thank you. Public Safety, Trustee Udris.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't think it can be said enough. Diana and her staff at the parks, just every year, I say to her, man, it was the best Fall Fest ever, and she smiles and says, wait till next year. So watching what happened this year, I can't wait for next year, so I'm excited. And her employees were so helpful. I saw so many acts of kindness from parks, from DPW, from our police, from EMA. that it just made your heart warm, because people did. They had such a great time there. I heard comments of people saying, I've never been up to Fall Fest before, but I had to see what the hype was. Neighbors that came up to me said, you live down the street from me, don't you? And we'd never met yet. So, just super, super exciting. But I can't thank the volunteers and the staff that put in the super long hours that they did to make sure that we could all have fun with that. So again, just heartfelt thank you to everybody. For our emergency management agency, EMA responders provided a total of 387 hours of personnel hours over Fall Fest weekend. No equipment or radio communication interruptions. The command trailer and unified command operations performed excellent. And of course, an after-action review is going to be completed at their next EMA training so that they can, again, be ready for next year. For our police department, the wall event went off without a hitch, and our greatest accomplishment was being able to assist with so many handicap attendees. The officers did a great job all around. The Fall Fest was a little more of a test. We ended up with about 250 to 300 juveniles in the carnival area. We had about 45-minute span where several fights broke out, and the crowd became a little empowered, but the officers were able to stay on top of every incident within seconds and able to calm the crowd and keep our family attendees safe. We identified 8 to 10 problem individuals, and they were removed. After that, by approximately 8:30, they'd had no more fights and very few incidents at all. Bottom line is, we stopped the event from being ruined by a few, and never felt that we were losing control. The ordinance was not enforceable just to the sheer numbers and the unlimited access. We'll discuss that in depth at next week's internal debrief. Overall, Monee Police Department felt this was a safe event and kept it that way throughout the weekend. Big thank you to Crete, Piatone, and Beecher officers for their assistance to us over the weekend. End of report.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to the attorney's report, Larry.
Thank you, Mayor. I have 3 items for the board's review and consideration. The first item is approval to execute a developer's note to TREA Monee Logistics Center. This was the Seafried property on Ridgeland Avenue. They completed everything pursuant to the redevelopment agreement. Seafried has assigned this note to TRE Monee Logistics Center. So at this point in time, we would need a motion authorizing the mayor to execute the note on behalf of the Village of Monee.
Make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udras?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes. I'll get the note to you Monday, okay?
Thank you.
The next item for the board's consideration is we received a TIF request from New Hope Community Church for the amount of $6,029, which is 50% of the $12,058. It's up for the board's review and consideration.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion on this board? Roll call, please.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udras?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. And the last item, 25850 South Ridgeland is being sold. There is a note, a TIF note on that site. At this point in time, they're asking the note be assigned to the new owner. So the previous owner was GI7VK MDC LLC. They're conveying the note to GNI 11 I-57. We need a motion approving the assignment of the TIF note. These notes are TIF payments, and there's 2 left. So we need a motion approving the same.
Make that motion.
Second.
So they're selling the property, and they are, the people who are buying it are assuming the TIF?
They'll get 2 more payments, and that's the Hankook Tire Facility. So the new owner, they'll get the 2 payments.
So-
One this year, one next year.
So that being said, TIF notes are transferable.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's what I was going to say, TIFs are transferable.
Oh,
then, I guess.
absolutely.
All right. Thank you.
Is there any paperwork they're gonna have to fill out to acquire this?
They just sent an assignment of the note. It's very common. Technically, we're just doing it so it's in the record that we're approving the assignment. But there is no liability from the village. We're just making a payment to the new owner versus the previous owner. Correct.
Basically, it's in their sales agreement or whatever.
without a
They've
doubt.
already taken care of that. We're just saying, yeah, we
I bet
understand.
80% of our TIFs, they use a note for financing.
Yeah.
Then what they do, they assign it to a REIT, a real estate investment trust. It's done quite a bit.
Yeah, we're just acknowledging that they told us about
That's
it.
all.
Yep.
We owe someone the money, now we're gonna owe them.
Thank you, Larry.
You're welcome.
Okay, roll call, please.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Regis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Any unfinished business? Any new business? Okay, under new business, I would like to propose an ordinance creating a four-way stop at the intersection of Ridgeland Avenue and Bruns Road. It is currently a two-way stop going east-west. Over time, this intersection has become more hazardous. Amazon traffic has discovered this back road, and it is traveled north-south much more frequently. For those familiar with traveling this road, Ridgeland is a long, open stretch, so speeding is common. The lane markings at that intersection don't exactly line up either, so you've got speeding and now swerving a little bit. I've had residents complain to me about the intersection. I've had my own run-in with trying to head northbound from Bruns onto Ridgeland, and somebody was passing, it's double-lined, but somebody was passing a truck, and if I was not paying attention and going as slowly as I was, it would have been not pretty. Then you add the usual hard to see with the utility pole and winter with snow, ice, and drifting snow. It's, to me, it only makes sense from a public safety point to add a north-south stop also. So,
If you need a motion, I will make that motion.
Second.
all right, so I'll have something then at next meeting. I'll have an ordinance. All right, thank
What
you.
is the speed limit out there?
45.
35, then up to 45,
Oh, so it's not that, okay.
yeah.
And Mayor, will they have to realign that all the way down?
It's weird because it's the one section, you get to the intersection and then the line, so, I mean, it's not huge, but, I mean, it's enough, especially when you're going fast enough and not paying attention, so. And I don't know, it could stand to be repaved also,
Right, I
along with
agree.
restriped, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, no, thank you.
I'm sure we're all in agreement.
Okay. Open to the public, non-agenda items?
May I stand for the body?
Yes, you may, sir.
Good evening, Mayor and the body, Governor body. I see y'all know how to do Robert Rules regular. As I stand before this body, Your Honor, trustee, administrator, I stand before you since 2020 as I cut grass for this village for 3 years. Didn't ask for nothing, just being considerate. When I had to ask Night Court to come in and give me an estimate, give me a direction of plumbing lines, electrical line, gas lines, we had a problem. Very serious problem. When I had to investigate myself to see how the sewer lines was designed from Bryn Mawr, from Winfield all the way back to the end of Winfield. When the drain system was built, opened up to our property, it caused a major problem. The major problem was sewer, extra drain water, coming all the way to the line. We had to call plumbing companies come in and do the plumbing. Was I happy about it? No. This went on for 2022. For me to have some consideration of this board to reach out to say, They had a plan to build a sewage line, a drainage system. But when you started from the road part and up the road part and inside my land, you're in the drainage system, then all that water runs out. What happened to all the rest of the drainage system that nobody gets water but us on my property? I want answers. I want answers because I've been very patient to this board. When I brought it to the superintendent, I couldn't get no answers. He said, I'll get back to you. His first request said, you make a proposal. I said, no, you make the proposal, let me read it, and then if I consider it, I'll let you know how I agree with it, won't agree with it. I don't want to play politics with nobody. All I asked for was a consideration to get a job done that you did without my permission on my property. On my property. 3 years. You know what I'm saying? 3 years, board trustees, administrator, mayor, boss. It was painful for me to go through this. I had to look at it, ask myself, are they some inconsiderate people? I had to look at the pain it was caused me. I had to look at how I had to come out of my pocket. I had to look at how kids come by, if they fall in that, who gonna say where the child at? Who gonna know they're there? Who got an answer for that? I had to check it every day. Make sure nobody's child or children fall in that drain system. Is that considerate or is it inconsiderate? I also like to know when the project started to build, open up this drain system. I'd like to know why we wasn't noticed of this project. Why we weren't considered in the proposal what digging and when it started. The next question is it finished? I want to know. I want some answers. I asked for answers because I'd wait 3 years for somebody to respond. No one respond.
Sir, since we don't know a lot about the project, where is your land?
26561
What is
South
it?
Winfield Road. Some know on this board. Trust and believe that. Someone know on this board.
Can you repeat that?
We do.
26561, Mr. Horn.
256,
2561 South Winfield Road.
okay.
I don't mean to sound hasty because I'm upset because I had some consideration when I talked to the superintendent to get it done. Out of 3 years, wasn't undone. That's painful to me and my wife. You suffer for somebody else's errors because they don't fix the mistake they made the problem on, but the problem is they didn't want to address it because you was wrong when you opened up on my property, on my land. I'm not looking for, and I said, let's address it, get it done, and fix it, and then we could be happy. No response. No response. Did I want to be technical about it? No, I didn't want to be technical about attorney. I did not want to be technical, I just want to get it done.
Yes, sir.
I didn't want to go through a legal challenge or nothing like that. I want to stop it, prevent it, get it done. That's all I ask the board. Consideration. That's all I ask. Allow me and my wife to live in peace. Allow her to leave us alone where we can have peace. Where there has to be no harassment, no stereotype moments. Or I got to check you out, you got to check me out. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Board of Trustees, Attorney.
Thank you. And that was 2561 South Winfield?
That is correct.
Thank you.
My wife want to address the board. May she address the board, Mr. Mayor,
Yes, of
Trustees?
course.
Yeah, come here,
Yeah.
sweetie.
To the microphone.
The mic, you gotta talk to the mic.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I love living in Monee. I have been in my home for 26 years. We have always kept the property up. We were never aware of there being an overflow of water until the last 3 to 5 years. My main concern is those little kids who play around that tunnel. A lot of times they're not with their parents. They got their little animals out there and they're playing. If they fall in that tunnel, nobody's gonna know they drowned. They're gonna be looking for them. It is not our fault. No one had a right to build that tunnel on our property without our consent. Excuse my English, but that doesn't make any sense. I would not want my children to be out there playing. And you got a tunnel, and nobody knows that the tunnel is there because it's almost being covered up. You can drive out there anytime you like and see it. It doesn't make any sense. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to talk about this. Yes, sir.
Can you tell us your last name?
Yes, Threat, Threatt, Cole, Cole.
Thanks.
And thank you for the opportunity, Sharon. Thank you.
Very welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Executive session for, number 1, 5 ILCS 120/2C5, the purchase release of real property for the use of the public body, including meetings held for the purpose of discussing whether a particular parcel should be acquired, PIN number 2114214000370000. So if I can please have a motion to adjourn regular session.
Make that motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Yes.
Trustee Henson.
Yes.
Trustee Horn.
Yes.
Trustee Rakes.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Udris.
Yes.
Can I please have a motion to reopen regular session?
Motion.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Rakes.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Udris.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez. Trustee Henson.
Yes.
Trustee Quigley. 746.
Thank you. May I please have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Udris.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez. Trustee Henson.
Yes.
Trustee Horn. Yes. Trustee Rakes.
Yes.